Hello and welcome to the Dallas Aftershow here on JLJ Media. I am James Lott Jr., your host, and thank you so much for listening and watching our last couple episodes. We just started this Aftershow a little less than a month ago, and the response has been wonderful. Thank you for this show that's 40-something years old. So I'm glad there's interest. I want to say hi to all the Dallas Facebook groups. Hi, you guys, everybody out there. And the folks that are on Reddit or other places who are watching this, I appreciate it. If you're listening to it, thanks for listening to it. I continue to give you Dallas, how I feel, and Dallas and stuff. And today is Dallas in the ratings and its impact. We're going to talk about the ratings for the 14 seasons of Dallas that was on the original series CBS, the 3 seasons on TNT, some of the movies. I'll give you a little Nuts Landing note too. All that at the same time. But follow us, subscribe, like, comment on all social media platforms, JLJ Media. We are also, the Dallas After Show is on every streaming service you can think of. So if you listen up, if you're a Spotify person or an iHeartRadio person, you'll find it. The video version is on YouTube, JLJ Media. Subscribe, like, comment. Okay, so let's talk about first the movies. So there and specials. So there was Dallas the early years. I can't seem to find the ratings for that one. If you guys know what the ratings are for the US or that particular prequel, put it in the comments. Let me know, because I couldn't find them. I looked around, couldn't really find definitive. Don't know why. Couldn't find them. Dallas JR Returns was number 23 out of 100. Respectable. War of the Ewings did much better. It was number 14. I like War of the Ewings. That was a good one. And I'm going to break down each of these movies later in the series. I'm going to talk about each one and how I feel about them and stuff like that. And then Dallas Return to South Fork, which was there when you got everybody back, including Victoria Principal, was number 14. So out of 100 episodes, out of 100 shows that week, those did pretty well. All 3 of them did pretty well. But early years, I have no idea what's going on. Now, as for the episodes, there were 14 seasons. They began April 2nd, 1978, ended May 3rd, 1991. Most episodes, season 1 had 5 episodes only. The rest ranged from 27 to 31 episodes a season. That's unheard of compared to the new Dallas, which had 10 episodes the first season and 15 seasons 2 and 3. That's half of what they put out back then. That's a there were some long seasons. They were good. I mean, they were good, but they didn't seem long. Now everything being like 10, 12 episodes, that seems like a long time, but it's great. We had all that soapy goodness. Season 1 began with 5 episodes and was at number 42 in the ratings out of 100. Ironically, Knots Landing, in its first season, they had 14 episodes, 279, started at number 30. For some reason, Knots Landing started higher than Dallas. Very interesting. We only have 5 episodes, so maybe that could be it. No, second season, I'm looking back at my notes here. Season 2, they had 4, they were at number 40, so they went up a couple. But here it comes, here it goes. Season 3, which includes the finale of A House Divided, which I will talk about Who Shot JR and all that. Another separate episode. It was number 6 in the ratings. So that was 1980. It was number 6. Who Shot JR became the largest viewed TV episodes of all time, of course. And of course, when it came back, season 4 was number 1. Season 5 was number 1. Now, here's something that's interesting. So 4 and 5, riding high, number 1. Dynasty debuts in 1981. Didn't do well in the ratings at all. Season 6 of Dallas, it drops number 2. Dynasty was number 1. That was when Joan Collins, some say the female JR, was introduced as Alexis Colby at the time. No, Alexis Carrington at the time. Alexis Carrington. Is that my mother? Yes. And so Dynasty went number 1 that season and was huge. I remember how big that was. It was flashy and everything. But here's what's interesting. Season 7, Dallas reclaimed the number 1 position. So Dynasty only lasted that one little season, number one, but Dallas went back. It was very impressive. I didn't realize that. It was very impressive. They went back to number one. Kind of said, okay, we are the originals. Let's show you how it's done. Season 8, number 2. So they're doing good in the ratings. So from seasons 4 to 8, they did really well in the ratings. They're either number 1 or number 2. That's really good. Season 9. A season I enjoyed. A season a lot of us enjoyed. A season that became known as the Dream Season. It was number 6 in the ratings. I know it's a big drop for Dallas because being number 1, number 2 all those years, that was a big drop. Bobby was dead. Larry Hagman felt that the show was missing something. So he was right. It was missing something. And it did drop in the ratings, number 6. Now, some could argue it's the 6th, it's the 9th season. Many shows drop naturally if you last. Well, actually, first of all, many shows don't even get that many seasons. But if they do, they drop usually. Some shows increase in viewership. It's very rare. Shows like NCIS, When Calls Hard on Hallmark Channel. There's some that actually get higher ratings as they go further. And some maintain across the board, like a Friends, or Big Bang Theory, or How I Met Your Mother. They actually stay high in the ratings the whole 10 years they're on the show. But it's very rare. But most actually go down. But I agree, personally, and I'll talk about the Dream Season and stuff too at some point. I feel like that is something it was missing a little something. So Bobby in the shower at the end. Now, here's what's very interesting. I didn't realize this. The returning season, season 10, we find out it was all a dream. Bobby is back, or he's reset. It only went to number 11. That whole season, now individual episodes, of course, got, high ratings. But for the season, number 11, which I personally think that's pretty good for a 10-year-old series. But it didn't do what Larry Hagman had hoped. It didn't bring the series back up. So it's like number 1, number 2. It even maintained number 6 or number 5. It fell out of the top 10. That to me is very telling. It's very interesting. Was the public just turned off? Was it just because it's an aging series? Who knows? Was season 10 a bad season? Then, of course, the decline. Season 11 was number 21. Season 12, number 30, which to me still are respectable for 100 shows. As you're getting into seasons 12 and 13, that's very respectable. And our season 14 ended the season at number 61. That's not good. But there's an asterisk to that. The series finale, Conundrum, actually was rated one of the highest rated TV series finales of all time. They got 33 million views. All live, of course. There's no DVR. This was 1991. There was no DVR or anything. So for the 30th anniversary this year, May 3rd, 1991, I'm going to examine that episode. That's all we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about just that episode and how it went and what we think and what I thought. You tell me what you think. It was a very interesting episode. And that ending. So we're going to talk about all that on the anniversary. I wrote down I have a little paper, wrote it down, says on May 3rd, 1991, I'm going to talk about it. So that'll be May 3rd. So actually it's the 30th anniversary of the ending of the original Dallas. So Conundrum, the series finale, rated high. But the whole season was basically a 61. So I think overall, Dallas did great. So from seasons 3 to 10, I will say, did really respectable for the competition that was coming up, regular shows. It was on a Friday night. So again, points for that and all those episodes. Now to rate the new series, and yes, I also want the new series at some point. I'm going to bring up, I will bring up some stuff from the new series. If you want to ask me what I think, I will do that. It is very much a weird way to rate because now we're talking not paid cable. Paid cable is not premium cable, regular basic cable. It was on TNT, which many of us got when you had cable. So the ratings are a little different. Now, for big shows like Mad Men, Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, they're getting ratings, just to give you an idea, like 11 million, 11. The ratings was like 11.6, 12.6, 8.6. That's what they were getting. Most shows were that were decent were probably 3 through 6 million. So the ratings. So the first season started off on a big note. And I actually liked the first part of the first season. It was 6.86. It was great. I thought I had a great start. We saw our old character. I think Curiosity. People come in, tune in to Curiosity. Seasons 2 and 3 didn't do so well. I don't even want to read their numbers. They didn't do well at all. The audience left. 75% of the audience left. So ratings wise, no matter what you feel about the series, ratings wise, it just wasn't getting the notice. I liked the ads for it. I remember seeing the ads. They were post for them. I love the ads. I love everything they did. It just didn't, because it was attention. And it was on like Mondays. It was on like Wednesdays. So maybe it's not the right day for it. Who knows? But again, I'll talk more in depth later about that. Now, Dallas's impact, of course, beyond the ratings is huge. The show is considered one of the greatest shows of all time. It's considered probably the greatest soap opera, nighttime primetime soap opera of all time. It's inspired so many things. People say that later on, Empire was the Dallas of the music business, and the classic story of, brothers, good brother versus bad brother. It's been turned into good sister versus bad sister. And also they're kind of three-dimensional. I said earlier, they said Dallas with grapes when it came to Falcon Crest, or Alexis the female JR, to me, they're not. They're all different, but it all stems back to Dallas. Dallas had the cliffhangers. Yes, cliffhangers were done before Dallas. I get that, but they were really calling them cliffhangers when the primetime soaps were doing them. Those words were really the impact of that word cliffhanger. Changed everything. It changed daytime, and at the same time, you got not just Dallas doing huge stuff. Daytime, General Hospital was doing on the run stories. Luke and Laura's Wedding was 1981. Speaking of one of the largest viewed audiences of all time. Still of daytime, it's still unchallenged. I think maybe the O.J. Simpson thing was the only thing that's challenged it. But in terms of scripted television, Luke and Laura's Wedding, November 1981, which now is the 40th anniversary this year. That's crazy. Is the largest. They also impacted. There were shows called Texas that came on daytime to capitalize on Dallas. That show didn't last long, but that directly was kind of informed there. Dallas had books and music. I have songs from it. Things. It inspired a lot. And the character of JR, character of Sue Ellen, Miss Sally, Bobby, Pam, their names. You can say their name. I know gay bars in Dallas that are named Sue Ellen's. I've been there, and JR's. So I've been there. It's kind of funny. I mean, it really South Fork. I mean, it's basically a monument. It's South. When you say South Fork, everyone knows what it is. When you say J.R. Ewing, you know who it is. You didn't even watch the show. You just know who it is. And that's very iconic. It doesn't happen very often. But a little note on Knots Landing, which was originally the original show, but became a spinoff. 14 seasons from December 79 to March 93. Now I'm going to a date. I'm just going to give you a little note, because there is a Knots Landing rewatch podcast. Go where you can find podcasts. They're also on Twitter. KL Rewatch Podcast. They're my friends. They do a Knots Landing stuff. I don't want to touch that. That's their stuff. But I'm going to mention it because it is a ratings thing. Its highest season of 14 seasons was its sixth season, 1984, 1985. It went to number 9. Again, it was on like late night Thursdays for the longest time, like 10 o'clock. Fifth season before that. So actually, it started out at number 30. The 14th season ended number 42. That's actually very respectable. Very respectable. For 100 shows and 14 seasons, that's good. But its heyday was the 5th season was number 11, 6th season number 9, and the 7th season number 17. So it did its part. Those were the years I got 83 to 80, 87 for a reason. I'm trying to remember what storylines were going on. I didn't say why are they so big, but I think at one point almost all the subs were in top 10. Falcon Crest, Knots Landing, that they were just all dice. They were all in top 10. And people could get enough of them. So that almost makes sense. But Dallas continues to be something that people still talk about. I don't think all the groups out there are listening to this and watching this. I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me at James Lott Jr. everywhere. And I wear my Dallas shirt, of course. And I love all of you out there and your Dallas fans. And I will talk to you next time with a new episode every Friday, just like the old days. Falcon Crest and Dallas. I do both those after shows released every Friday on JLJ Media.